All right, everyone, welcome back to the Spotlight. I'd already made a video this morning on will Erik Ten Hag be sacked after the West Ham game, and it has come out and broke. Ten Hag is a goner. He's gone. I think The Athletic and Romano have put it out there that they have parted ways. It's official. There is also a club statement, which I will quickly get on the screen and read out. But that's what it is. I mean, after yesterday's game, there was no coming back for Ten Hag. The VAR thing, they're not. Even if we didn't get that penalty, I was going to say, a draw still wasn't enough. We'd have still been 13th in the league. I'm afraid we had to win yesterday for Erik Ten Hag to keep his job. And there'll be people out saying that the players have cost him his job. VAR's cost him his job. We're not 14th after one game, people. We're 14th after 9 games with 4 losses. We're 21st in the Europa League after 3 games. This has been coming for a long time. I've said it for a long time. If you ever watched my channel before, you all know it. I would have sacked him in the summer without a doubt and had a clean and fresh start. We're now 200 million Suncon players for Erik Ten Hag in the summer. And we've got to find another manager, which is going to be Ruud van Nistelrooy for the time being. But we'll get quickly into the next manager and what I think about Ruud just after I read the statement before I start on a ramble. And the statement is Erik Ten Hag has left his role as Man United's men's first team manager. He was appointed in April 2022 and led the club to 2 domestic trophies, winning the Carabao Cup in 23 and the FA Cup in 24. We're grateful to Erik for everything he's done, his time with us, and we wish him well for the future. Ruud van Nistelrooy will take charge as interim coach, supported by the current coaching team while a new permanent coach is recruited. So there you have it, official, straight out the mouths of Manchester United. There is nothing more official than that statement. Ruud van Nistelrooy as interim, I don't have a particular problem with it. I don't really want it to go to the summer. I think we need to get a new permanent manager in ASAP. Hopefully in the international break, and maybe this is why Ineos delayed getting or sacking him in the last international break while they lined another manager up. Who knows who it would be, but the lead candidates are probably Xavi from what was out last week. There was a lot of talk about Thomas Frank. And then like Nagelsmann, but Nagelsmann said that he don't want to leave Germany, so it don't look like it's going to be him. And then who else is out there? People like Zidane. I don't see Zidane taking it. Amorim. Can we get Amorim when he looks like he's lined up to be the next City manager if Pep leaves? I doubt it. And also, as much as people like Amorim, he's another risk coming from a European team in a poorer league into Man United, who are in a crisis of urgency at the minute. Personally, I think we need either a top name like Ancelotti, even Zidane, even though he'll never come. Xavi is probably a risk as well. Nagelsmann, I think, has the experience to do it, or a Tuchel who's gone to England now, so he's out of the list. Or, if you can't get them, I think you've got to go for Premier League experience, and that's why they're probably looking at Thomas Frank. He's done a very good job in the Premier League of keeping Brentford in the league. He speaks well. He seems tactically like he knows what he's talking about. And I think if you can't get the big name with the big stature who's going to come into the club and own that dressing room and own the club, then I don't think we can be taking risks on European managers anymore. Solskjaer was a manager with no experience. He's come in and he eventually failed. Ten Hag was an up-and-coming so-called great European manager who has come in and failed. And I think a lot of Erik Ten Hag's failure is underestimating the Premier League. and the players and how physical, strong, and how good the weaker teams in the Premier League are. And Thomas Frank would understand the pitfalls of being a Premier League manager better than some of these European candidates. Do I think Thomas Frank is the right man? I think it's still a risk, but I would rather take him than a random manager from a European team who's done okay for a year or two. The only other one I'd potentially look at is the manager of Lille, and I don't know his name. He's beaten all the big teams in Europe over the last couple of years, and again, doing very well in that Champions League system with Lille, but I don't know enough about him. If you know anything about the Lille manager or what his record is actually like, for me, if you're looking at a random European manager, the only two out there are the Lille manager and Amorim. Otherwise, you've got to be going for a big name or the likes of Thomas Frank. Ruud, I don't mind as interim. What can he do to change this team up straight off the bat? I mean, I would personally like him to just be dropping Bruno, dropping Rashford. And I personally would go to a flat 4-3-3 system. I would scrap this 4-2-4, 4-2, whatever system it is, and play the system that every other top team in the league and Europe do. Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Spurs, Real Madrid, Barcelona, they all play a flat 4-3-3. There's none of this messing about with stupid formations and overloading six up front and all that lot. Just go back to basics and get us some results. He's all Van Nistelrooy needs to do until we get another manager in. But this has been coming now for a long time. And I just want to quickly talk about Erik Ten Hag's press conference after the West Ham game yesterday, where he said that we don't get any luck. We had no luck last season and we turned it around last season. If Erik Ten Hag thinks that we turned it around last season and came 8th, he's turning it around, then there's no wonder he's ended up sacked today. Because we didn't turn... What is he talking about? Turned it around. We came 8th with a -3 goal difference or whatever it was. There was no turning it around last season, unless he's just talking about he thinks that winning one FA Cup is turning it around. There's absolutely... I mean, he just talks. I don't get what he's saying half the time. He talks like he's clueless, like he don't understand what the job is, like he don't understand who he's managing. He talks to me like he's managing Everton or someone, not a top club the size of Man United. I think he still thinks he's in charge of Ajax, where doing mediocre in Europe and having an half-decent season's probably acceptable to them. But yeah, that is the end of Erik Ten Hag. I'm not going to dwell on that. I will wait and maybe go live later or tomorrow once we've got more information and more updates on who the manager potentially will be. I personally think that Ineos will have a manager lined up for the next international break already. And that's why there was a delay in the last international break of not sacking him. Who will it be? Let me know in the comments. This is just a quick update video of Ten Hag leaving Man United. And we will move on from here and we will go into some more tactical in-depthness and what Ruud's going to do come the Leicester game. See you all later. Peace and subscribe.